it's Teresa again. I thought that I would do something a little different than normal, and instead of a blog post, I wanted to make a video and tell you a little bit about the 100-Day Project and what inspired me to start and how it went last year and what I'm going to do this year. For those of you who don't know what the 100-Day Project is, it's a maker's movement, and it's a really fun way for creatives to get together and inspire each other to create something every day for 100 days. If you want to follow along, there's a hashtag the 100-Day Project. The women that started it have actually taken it a bit further, and they've started a podcast, and they even have coaching sessions. So if you need help or creative inspiration along the way, you can check it out. It's actually really cool, and I found out about it from my friend. Well, I think of her as a friend because we went to junior high together and we worked at Jamba Juice together in high school, but we actually haven't ever talked in our adult life. But her name is Elise, and she started a company called the Get to Work Book. It's an amazing planner, and she does the 100-Day Project every year. And I've always watched and been inspired. And so last year, I decided to participate in all of the fun. When I was coming up with what I wanted to do for the 100-Day Project, I thought about the things that made me happy when I was working or going to school. What were the things that I liked to do during my breaks? And the theme that kept coming up was painting. Now, at the time, I had how old was he? 6-month-old. And we did have a little bit of problems with him gaining weight at the beginning. He was just starting to get healthy and sleep regularly, and I knew that I only had small pockets of time to work on this project. So I thought about all the painting mediums there were, and the amount of time that it takes oil to dry meant that was out of the picture. Acrylic is a little bit messy, and if you aren't quick in cleaning it up, you can ruin your brushes. So I decided to go with something simple and relatively inexpensive, which is watercolor. I started out with this Artist Loft palette. You can get it at Michael's, I think, for $8. I'll go ahead and link it below on Amazon, and it's even cheaper if you use their coupon. I already had watercolor paper at home, so I just started searching the internet for inspiration. One of the first pieces that I made is this piece right here. You can see that I was attempting to do the wet on wet technique that I showed you how to do in one of my recent tutorials, so I'll go ahead and link that below for you as well. As I went on with the 100-Day Project and I started sharing my work, you all started messaging me about how my work started inspiring you. It was really cool to get all of the messages and encouragement just telling me to keep going and to keep letting my creative juices flow. It was really nice to know that all of you were rooting me on, and I started reaching out to some of you to see if you wanted some pieces. I soon realized that I was painting things, but then I had nowhere to put them. And so all of you were so inspiring, and I wanted to give you a gift for inspiring me, so I offered to do custom commission pieces for free. This was really a great learning experience. I learned how to package material so that it gets shipped to you without getting bent. Thank you, U.S. Postal Service, for teaching me that lesson. I learned that the materials that you use really are important, and if you can see the piles of drafts that I made for certain pieces, that there is a big learning curve, but if I challenge myself, I really can accomplish anything. So it was a lot of fun to do that project and complete it and learn that I have a business doing stuff like this. It's really cool that I can turn pieces of art into fun things like stickers and magnets and buttons, so you guys can enjoy my art wherever you go. It's so cool to go on Instagram and Facebook and see pictures that you share of your home, and then in the background, seeing a picture that I put up. There's nothing that brings me as much joy as knowing that I'm a part of your life. This year for the 100-Day Project, I'm going to be focusing on watercolor still. Ewan is way too busy sleeping less, and I still am never going to remember to wash my acrylic brushes and botanicals and succulents. If you remember my last video, I'm having a lot of fun exploring them, and I can't wait to see what stuff I come up with. If you want to follow along on all the fun things that I'm creating, you can go ahead and follow the hashtag There's 100 Days. Get it? Teresa 100 Days. Because Teresa spells out there's a yes, no, yes. So go ahead and follow along over there, and I'll be checking in next week with some fun tips and tricks to help out your creative space. All right, until then, see you next time. Bye.